All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys, and on this channel we do a lot of conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentaries on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about Ready to Love, Miami style.
Miami style.
So if this is content that you enjoy, you already know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe, request notifications,
and share.
And we will see you in the comments, and consider becoming a member of the channel. Membership has its privileges. You get those Team Kevin, Team Tarsha emojis to let us know whose side of the argument you're on or the discussion
I need
that we're
somebody
on.
On my side.
Yeah, I know, because I'm always right. It's okay. It's all right. And then we will do, for certain tiers, we will do membership live streams with you guys too. So definitely do that. And then there's also, we haven't talked about the merch store, but the merch store is down there as well. Get you some cool aprons, some t-shirts, some
hoodies.
Winter
is here.
There. Yep.
So maybe we should have a Black Friday sale.
Maybe. We'll figure that out. All right. So let's jump into it. So we left off with the cliffhanger last episode where Tommy was like, hold up. Wait
a minute.
Hold up. Wait. I forgot what's on this one, but all right.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm on rock right now, right?
No. You mixing two songs.
Oh, I'm mixing.
You mixing two songs. You doing a remix.
That's the remix. DJ remix.
All right. So Tommy's like, hold on, wait, time out. I'm going to jump in here. I'm eliminating somebody because you remember it was left off with Samson and Swayze on the block. And Tommy was like, you got to show up for love. And if you ain't showing up,
you out.
You gone. So LJ is gone. LJ is out. Trinika kind of took it kind of hard because that was really, for honest, that was her major connection.
Trinika should have gone on a conference with LJ.
She might have had better luck. So then Tommy, basically pulls everybody together. It's like, okay, men can eliminate now because we got rid of a guy. Men, you all can eliminate now. And so he's like, we're going to do some, what was it? Kind of like his take on the newlywed game.
It was his and hers, Mr.
Yeah. It was a corny game. But it was based off of kind of like the old newlywed game where you ask a question, and if your person gets it right, you stay in, right? And so
Tommy was a good host, though.
Well, I mean, Tommy did radio and did other stuff, so he just working what he was given.
He was working what he was given.
Working with what he was given. So then, there are 4 guys and 6 women.
Yes.
So basically, what was working out was that each woman had to select who her main guy was. And that was the one that she was going to have to answer questions about and see if they matched up. So evidently there was going to be some overlap.
Definitely overlap.
So Katie, and of course, connected with Swayze because they are already in these Instagram streets letting their love be shown and known. I'd be curious, Katie, and I want to know, and if you're in the comments, I want to know how production is taking the fact that you're already kind of spilling the beans that you guys are together while the season's still going on. Maybe we'll get a conversation or interview and figure that out.
Yeah, let us know.
Because normally they don't like to do that.
Well, they don't care.
Katie don't care. She like,
look, this is my world.
Everybody else just a squirrel trying to get in there.
That's right. She ain't in her business.
Listen, Sharice says Samson is her guy. Kayla and Brandy both choose Mike. And then Jamala and Trinika both choose Randall. So Katie gets out immediately because the question was whether or not Swayze wanted big bank or big family.
Yeah, and I thought we've seen episodes where he's talked about having a big family. And so I think Swayze was a little surprised that she got big bank.
Because he's already got his own business, right? He's already got things that he's doing as far as an entrepreneur. But I think
thought he was a firefighter.
But it's like he owns his own EMT or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Something like that.
Gotcha.
So it was like, okay, for that one, it was just like, yeah, you missed the boat on that one. Trinika and Jamala were posed with the question of whether Randall was more of a Netflix and chill kind of person or a romance person. And Jamala missed that one.
Big time.
So
just because they were Netflix and chilling doesn't mean he don't like to be romantic.
Yeah.
So she got it confused.
Trinica picked up on that. So Trinica was knowing his questions. It came to Brandy and Kayla, their question. Brandy missed the question. Kayla got it. And then Charisse, I think she answered one question right, and then she got out on his shoe size. She gave him small feet. Because the average size for men is, I think, 12 and 13 are the most common sizes.
So, yeah, because I would have said between a 12 or a 13.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I don't know him that well. He won't open up and tell me what shoes he likes. So, I don't know what size.
Yeah. So, but it was interesting also because Brandy started getting upset because Kayla was like, yeah, I know that. Yep, I can answer that. Yep, I got that.
So, what's really going on?
So, Trinica like, Randall loves her breastises.
Or breasts in general.
Yes. But no, she was like, he likes these, pointing to herself. So.
She had a point of reference.
Yeah. He wasn't denying it, though, either.
No, he put it on his paper, on his board.
Yeah. So, basically, in the end, Trinica and Randall won. And so they got a getaway date, right? Which really was just them going to another part of the resort or
because they were
mansion,
like,
whatever.
Because Tommy was like, okay, so there's going to be a helicopter. And there's going to be an island with mermaids.
And Randall like, don't play with my emotions because that's what I really want. But he was, as he was kind of walking away, kind of was like, I wonder what Jamala's going to say. Because whether we, just be honest, Jamala's energy towards him is not just we're in this trying to figure out if there's love. Jamala's energy is like, that's her dude.
They're in a relationship.
They're in a full-blown relationship. And why you messing with Trinica as a side piece? That's the energy that she's giving.
That's the energy she's giving. We talked about this in the last episode. I guess we can say this episode. So check out our last video because we were like, is there something additional going on?
Have they really been Netflixing and chilling and more focusing on the chilling than the Netflixing?
So it's like because of the type of energy. It's not like, and granted, I get it.
Yeah.
You want him, because you are, when you're going to make your decision on the very last opportunity,
right?
You do need to be narrowing down and not allowing Tommy in the voting to narrow down the people.
Right.
You need to say, I can really solidify who I like.
And make that choice for yourself.
Right. Because you're almost saying you don't know what you want. Like, you don't know what you want in a woman.
Yeah.
So it's hard for you because, yes, we're not supposed to have this long list of things, but there's a core sense of this is the type of woman I'm interested in.
Right.
And this is what I'm...
Having an idea of what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for.
But as they're also doing that, Kayla, who is kind of another connection for Randall, but this weekend, the only thing we saw was her, previously in the previous episode where she's on the bed kind of flirting with him. And then there was no interaction that we saw from Randall and Kayla the rest of the time. But Kayla is like, the date with Trinica and Randall is going to be a waste of time because she's like, Trinica's his least connection. But it's interesting because she knows the most about him.
And let's be honest, she didn't pick him as the strongest connection.
She picked Mike.
And I thought she was going to pick him for the game. So let's be honest. She decided not to play against two other women.
Yeah.
She decided to play with Mike and Brandy.
Yeah.
So she also made that decision too.
Yep.
If she felt like that was her strongest connection and she could have won, so she could have that time with them. So...
But you snooze, you lose. All right. So then they go on this mystical, magical date.
In the backyard.
With the woman that has bowls and, I don't know.
So there was a feet washing. I guess there's supposed to be a cleansing ceremony.
Yeah.
That's supposed to bring them together. Then they're supposed to get their feet washed to relax them. And Randall feet. Man, y'all need to work on y'all feet. I'm sorry. It's good to keep your feet together. And so then after that, they're supposed to do this eye gazing. Mm-hmm.
So they go through that. You know, she can tell that there are times where he's engaging and not engaging, where he's kind of like into it and not into it.
He's all over the place.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's banging the drum. What's that?
So she's rubbing his feet to try and, you know, keep him engaged, whatever, keep him interested. So he does say that he feels a stronger connection with Trinika as a result of this date, and that he's kind of sorry that it didn't happen earlier. Mm-hmm. Okay, but it's kind of interesting because as far as what we saw, he and Trinika had interaction and a good date early on.
That's what I'm saying.
That seemed to be a good connection, but for whatever reason, he kind of let that slide and let that go by the wayside.
I don't understand, but
yeah,
we'll talk about it.
So. Randall and Renika, call them a couple name. Randall and Trinika come back, and Jamala's like, "I'm gonna just roll with the punches. I'm gonna just sit over here in the corner, sip on my drink," because she had been drinking a little.
Yeah, that's what she was talking about. She's like, "Oh, we're about to play a game," and I've been sipping all day long.
Yeah, she's like, "It's late. I done had a bunch of daiquiris and whatnot in me, so." But she's like, I'm going to just go ahead and roll with the punches. Sharice and Samson kind of talk about how, Sharice talks about how she's not sure if Samson is really opening up to her and kind of telling her everything, or is he just going through the motions? She's, you know, is he really into her, or is he just going through the motions to stay in the show? Which to me is pot calling kettle black, because I think that's what she's doing. I think Sharice is really just trying to stick around. That's her end game. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I have no clue. But she's doing a good job.
She's doing an okay job. But I peeped her game, so she can't be doing that great of a job. Sorry. But Randall then goes, and this is where it comes into, they're essentially in a relationship because Randall comes and is reassuring Jamala, right? And Jamal,
so you don't put them in a relationship.
That's the energy they giving. I mean, he basically he coming to her like, what you saw you didn't really see. I get what you're saying. He's coming to smooth things over with her, but he's not done that with anybody else.
We're good, babe. We're good.
So she's like, she's not made of iron. He's like, I'm here for you. And she's like, you got to be direct. Tell these other ladies.
It's the stepping.
Their time is done.
Like Martin. It's the stepping. Step. Oh.
So yeah, she is pulling her pulling the card and
she's pulling her girlfriend card. Like,
yep. Let these ladies know.
Don't be playing with their emotions, so we can get on our journey.
She like, somebody's feelings got to be hurt, and it ain't gonna be mine. So go hurt some feelings. In fact, go right now, hurt somebody's feelings. Do that. And then, you know, so they're starting to leave, right? And everybody's starting to pack up. Did you notice how much baggage Brandy had?
Like luggage she brought with her?
Like it was a 48-hour trip. It was a 2-day trip.
And it's not like they wear a lot of heavy stuff in Miami. So Brandy didn't know what scenes they were going to be doing. She's going to make sure she's dressed for every scene. That's the person who doesn't know what they want to wear, so they'll just bring a smaller closet with them. Because I'm like, I'm wearing this.
Right.
And however you need to shoot this, shoot it so it look a different color.
And granted, one of those suitcases was probably Mike's, right?
Right, but out of the 5.
Yeah, there was a bunch of suitcases there, and they were packed. She was like, I don't know if I can fit all this stuff back in here. Well, did you go shopping on this trip too?
They might have. I don't know where they were.
So as they're leaving, Trinika also says that she still has question marks about her situation with Randall. They did have that good getaway date in the backyard, but she's like, I don't know how things are actually going to play out. Kayla, in her little talking head section, said that she feels like she wasted her time. She's like, neither one of her connections really progressed anywhere.
This is where the point I decided to bow out. You know what I'm saying? It's like she indicated, she was like, I don't want to chase anybody.
Right.
And people are secretively coming to me after their stronger connection, have a laugh, talking about, oh, you know, I'm still interested in you and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, just like she was looking, I was like, boy, please.
So
I would have.
Yeah. So, I mean, because here's the way, and I'm not trying to say this to be disrespectful. So, Kayla, if you check this out, I'm not trying to say this disrespectfully, but it's almost like she's the side piece. Because Mike is, and really for Mike and for Randall, Kayla has almost been pushed into this side piece role where it's like nobody wants to claim her up front. And they'll just kind of like, hey, you know, come to the side, and they'll hit the DM or whatever and let her know, hey, I'm still, because she says that Mike came to her after Brandy kind of got herself situated and was rolling out. It was like, hey,
she was gone. Brandy was gone.
We're going to figure this out. You know, I know how you're feeling. That's, to me, classic putting someone in a side piece role. I'm not saying that that Kayla is that type of person. I'm just saying that's the role that in some respects it's almost like she's been pushed into by these two guys. And
that's why I'm saying this is the point where you come to bow out.
I agree.
Where she was mentioning that when they were at the game. Mm-hmm. She mentioned it when all of a sudden she's seeing Mike. She's like, I see how Mike acting. Mm-hmm. Now after Brandy's gone, he want to roll up on me real fast and talk about, we're going to figure out how to work this out. I'd be like, no, we're not. Mm-hmm. Because she says, if she's the one you want,
go for it.
Tell me that.
Yep.
But for some reason, these dudes in these Miami streets, they can't seem to be very upfront about who they want.
Right.
If you know you've got a clear, strong connection, just say that.
Right.
Because as we've seen in previous Ready to Love, once they made a decision and they were upfront with it, the show just moves on.
Right.
So you don't need me in extra scenes. So that my feelings are put on the line for you to later tell me I don't have a connection.
Right.
So, because she had, well, I guess we'll get to that point.
Yeah. So then, you know, everybody's back in Miami actual. And so Samson is like, I'm going to go to Sharice's business because she has an esthetician. Mm-hmm. She's an esthetician. So she has her spa or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so she's going to make his face tight is basically what she's going to do. I'm being nice. I'm being nice. All right. But, you know, she gives him the facial and what have you. And he's like, it's relaxing. She's like, some of her clients treat it like therapy because they open up to her. And so she's hoping that he'll open up. Mm-hmm. So, you know, he does kind of talk about the last time he cried was his dog died, I think it was.
2011, to be exact.
11 years ago, right?
So, okay. Is that not opening up? I'm just wondering, just a little bit, like, he's expressing the last time he actually expressed the emotion.
Of crying.
And he talks about his dog. Mm-hmm. Now, when you want to get deep with someone, why don't you start talking about how he felt about his dog? I mean, like...
Have you gotten any more pets? Was that, you know, did you not get any more pets because of that relationship?
Right.
You can dig off of that and find other places to go
off of that. To me, that's the bone. So you give me that, which is great. Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. Like, what was your dog's name? You know, how long did you have him? So those are different things where you can find out more person because they owned a pet.
Right.
And obviously that was important to him. Mm-hmm. So he didn't have to share that. Mm-mm.
So after the facial's done, she wants to play 25 questions. Not 20 questions. She wants to play 25 questions with him. And he's not for it. He's like, you know, I came to check you out. I came to support you in your business. I came to kind of see about you and what have you. But I didn't come for an interrogation.
He's like, all the stress that left me, you put it right back in the middle of my forehead. Right you put my lines back.
And
right in the forehead.
It's like, I get what he's saying. He's like, she's trying to force the questions. and he's trying to at least organically have the conversations. Now, bear in mind, the knock against Samson has been that a lot of the ladies don't feel that he's opening up. So then, on the flip side, he does have to figure out ways to maybe balance that out, right?
Because this is a very intense, concentrated process.
Absolutely.
And we found that in the past in Ready to Love, a lot of men, that's not their time frame. So it is putting people out of their comfort zone,
right,
and trying to open up real quick. And, so people can find out if you're ready for love or not.
Right. Because, again, this is not we getting married at the end of the show.
Right.
We're not going to stand before Tommy, and Tommy's going to pronounce a blessing over us, and we're going to be married.
Tommy can
That's not
do that.
this show.
Right.
So the goal, in my opinion, is finding somebody that you want to move forward with and get to know on a deeper level, on a one-to-one basis. Because, yes, you start off with 10 men and 10 women, so you've got a lot of information coming at you from different sides, and you don't want to share all of your information with all 10 people of the opposite sex. So therefore, if that's the case, I get that, yes, he's getting closer with Charisse, but he's trying to see still if we can move forward. He's not trying to lay out his entire soul to her, and he's not asking her to lay out her entire soul. He's just trying to have some conversations, because if they're going to be together beyond this, they're going to get all of that off camera. Because the other thing, I'll be honest, I don't know how much I want to share on national TV.
That's true too, right? And I think it's an understanding of it's not about making the commitment that is a lifetime commitment,
right, in
this period of time. And she's making it out like, I got to find out if he's really a good connection for me, because if she doesn't do it now, she's not going to do it, So I think her time frame is totally off if she's truly into him.
Right. Because, again, the track record of this show, we only have one engagement. Unless I've missed someone else's, I think we only have one engagement. Now, we may have some couples that are still together that came out of it, but I can only think of one other couple.
And they didn't even start with each other. The one that are currently engaged. Originally,
Who's that?
Originally they were peeping other people in the Ready to Love. Because you're talking about
Clifton and I forgot her name.
They're not engaged, are they?
Yes, they are. They just got engaged.
Oh, they got engaged. I was talking about the other couple, the tall, light-skinned one that has the car business.
Oh, yeah.
Simone.
Okay, so that's another one.
Yeah.
Simone and RJ, I think his name. I forget what his name is. Y'all know who he is. What is it? Ages and Stages podcast. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
But they're together, so that's another couple. And then
I didn't know they got.
Yeah, they're engaged too. So we have two engagements. I'm sorry, we have two engagements out of this.
Okay.
And then we have another couple, Cornelius and whatever her name is.
Oh, are they engaged?
They're not engaged as far as we know, but they're still together. So as far as I know, there's a total of 3 couples, maybe a few more, but this isn't the track record of this show, if we're honest, is not long-term relationships is the norm, right? So I get what Samson's going for. He's got to find the balance, but Charisse also needs to pull back and really just allow it to grow organically instead of trying to force it and make it happen. Kayla and Randall meet, right? Because we almost forgot that Kayla and Randall were a thing. So
pretty much.
He apologizes for everything at the house.
He said it was just overwhelming. It wouldn't have been overwhelming, man, if he just made some decisions.
If you know what you want, it's not overwhelming.
It really is not.
Sorry.
I mean, I think you've come far enough to know, like, okay, maybe I only have 2 strong connections.
Right.
So this third person, which I'm not spending as much time, I need to go ahead and let her live her life. Yeah.
Because she's like, our connection is weaker as a result of this weekend. And she basically tells him that she basically says about him that he has great intentions, but he executes poorly. So Randall needs to step up, man up, and decide what he wants.
Just say, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and bow. I'm just going to just tell you that you're not the one that I'm totally interested in.
And that's okay.
And we don't need to go any further because I really feel like my strongest connections is so-and-so.
Yep. So, the men show up at the lounge, and Tommy's like, okay, how'd the weekend go? They kind of run through the weekend. Randall says that he had his hands full, but he also says that he's on a deeper level with Trinika than he is with the others. Keep that in mind. So he says that he's got a deeper connection, deeper level with her. Swayze talks about some of the miscommunications that he had with Katie, and not deal breakers, just
something they're working through.
And sometimes they're saying the same thing, but with just different language, which that's common in relationships, right? So Tommy's like, okay, so who's not ready? Let's jump to it. Who's not ready? Randall says Sharice is not the one for him because he got all the other women in the thing. So yeah, that's not the one. Samson says for him it's Kayla and Trinika. They just aren't connecting. Mike brings up Trinika. Swayze brings up Kayla and Trinika as well. So now it's time to figure out who's going home. So Mike meets with Kayla. And for her, she says, as they're talking, she says that the trip was miserable. That for her, it didn't, and she kind of said that earlier, it didn't go anywhere. There was nothing for her, right? And he tells her name was brought up a few times, right? Mike says he did not know that he was her strongest connection. She's like, dummy.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is where you as a woman make a decision. First of all, you barely spend any time with me. Then you tiptoeing up to my car about tiptoeing up to my car, talking about, we can work some now. We're gonna do. How many of us women have heard that before? And then you go on a date with Randall, and Randall's apologizing again after the fact. Because anyone who wants me is going to spend time with me. They're going to make time for me. I'm the priority. Everybody else is secondary. And so while she's sitting at this table hearing this stuff with Mike, she is getting a little upset, but she's trying to go with the flow of it to see if she's going to stay in there. And he's telling her all this stuff, and he's like, I didn't know this. And he was like, well, I thought you did that because you didn't want to be, on the other side. You know what?
Well, she did say that for part of, or is it him that said that?
He said that
she didn't want to compete with the others?
Right.
Okay.
And she was like, what do you mean? She's like, you can tell she has a competitive nature.
Right.
So she's like, I'm a competitor. I feel that you're my strongest connection. Because she did have some questions about Randall. And she does say that she likes Mike more than she likes Randall. Yep. So she's been consistent.
Yep.
And so now we're coming to this point, okay, am I staying or not? I'm not going to stay. And he tells her, yes, you're staying.
Right.
And she's like, I still need to figure out where Mike is. No, babe, you don't need to figure it out. He is not interested in you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's her competitive side to say, I want to be chosen. And does she deserve to be chosen by the right man?
Yeah.
But he's not here.
Yeah, because she says she can't force him to pick her, but her energy is giving, I don't want to say pick me vibes.
It's not, but it's like, I deserve to be chosen.
And she does. But that means also you have to excuse yourself from places where you're not being chosen.
When you're not being chosen.
Or the signs are pointing to the fact that you won't be chosen, right?
Because that's when you do become secondary. When you allowed to stay in something because you know in your gut everything on the inside that she's saying, she's speaking that.
Yep.
Look, I didn't have a good weekend. No one was spending time with me as the primary person. I felt like I wasted my time. Then I have people, once their main connection leaves, then they're pulling up on me. They're sliding over. They're talking to me. I got people apologizing again while when it's only the two of us. That's her signs. She should be listening to herself, her inner self. I was like, have a great night. I'll definitely let Tommy know. I'm eliminating myself.
Yeah, because Mike right now strikes me as the type of person that would create a burner Instagram account just so he could follow her. And that way Brandy doesn't have to know.
Because if you allow people to continue to do that in your life, they will.
Yeah.
Just like he was doing.
Yeah. The behavior that he's exhibiting towards her now is the behavior that he could continue on if they get to the end. It would continue on. Who's to say that at reunion we don't hear about how Mike might still be trying to slide in her DMs well after the show has stopped filming. All right. So on the other side of town, Randall meets with Trinika. And Randall says, man, I should have dressed up a little more. Bruh, that's the entire season for you. The entire season you should have dressed up a little more. Sorry. But she, it was interesting, again, because he said that was his deepest connection.
And she indicates, like, man, you're sure expressing yourself a lot more than you have the whole whatever weeks 7 weeks they're in. And, he going on talking. She started to get hot. Well, see, one thing you have to understand about women, we can get emotionally connected faster than anything. I like Trinika. I feel like she has all the components of someone who is ready to get married.
Absolutely.
Because we talked about her before, and this to me is a positive. She has the right energy. She can go on a date and easily she can make, I feel like, a man comfortable. And make a great connection. It's about her just finding the guy for her. Because to me, she has all the elements of being ready to get married. And so you can tell, like she said, she's done the work to prepare herself for marriage. And so for her, I can see it being upsetting is that she's put all the effort and know who she is, but she's not finding anyone else, especially in this round of men, that's the right connection for her. That's done the work they needed to connect with her. So I get why she's upset.
So, long story short, she is gone, and she did leave angry. She was
she was
a little ticked
because I'm like, especially if I know you feeling me, and I know we made a deep connection. At least in the short, obviously you're dating, right? And it's time, but it's like. But you couldn't fight for me.
But again, if we look at who's left, if we look at the guys that are left and the ladies that are left, right? She was the quote unquote expendable one.
It's true.
Simply from the aspect that Randall has 3 options, right? Jamala, which is his number 1. Kayla, which is his number 2. Or really, I think Kayla really was his number 3 or 4.
See, this is the thing. Kayla was expendable too.
Kayla was very expendable. I think that Mike wanted to keep Kayla around.
Oh, I know he did.
So that's what made Trinika a little more expendable than Kayla. And plus, Trinika's primary connection, LJ, was gone. So that's why I think that she was the expendable one this week. But yeah, I think she'll find what she's looking for, just not in this group.
No, and I hope it comes for her quickly. Putting yourself out there is hard when you're dating. But every experience you learn from, you get an opportunity to see what you really want, and it's out there for her.
So that's it. Next week they start to meet with families. So that always is a little interesting, just because families are always interesting.
They're telling.
Always interesting. All right. That's it for this one. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bye.